Yeah.
Oh man,
Oh
looky
man.
here.
What
Look
do
at
we
her.
have here?
Someone has come back to the
Yeah.
podcast.
I one Joel for another, as I said last time. Both are here now.
we got a plentiful amount of Joels.
Never enough.
Indeed.
Never
Never
enough.
enough, Joel. You can never have enough, Joel.
Um, well, this being the second podcast of 2025, and didn't get to talk to you last week, Joel. How was your winter break?
It was good. I was just telling you guys, like, I was taking care of my mother-in-law. She's having some issues, but she's doing a little better. She's with us right now too. So yeah, that, and then a friend of ours, he had his kid early, so we had to be good
Oh
friends and
yeah.
house it real quick. So that's why I wasn't available last week. So thanks for holding down the fort, Joey.
I got you, man.
Yeah, but that led me to watch Squid Game season 2. I got to binge watch that at his place. So
Oh,
that was a ride. I don't know if you guys saw it, but
I
um,
haven't started it yet, but
I
serious
won't say
question.
anything then.
Subbed or
Uh,
dubbed?
uh,
there's dubs
Come
for
on,
it.
man. Come on. There
Yeah.
are
Oh,
subs, dude. I want to hear it in its natural language. So, we tried
Yeah.
the dub actually for the first season a while ago. It's like it didn't feel right.
It's so bad. It was so
It didn't feel
bad.
right.
I
We have
heard
Yeah.
news about how
no shade
bad
to
it
the
was
voice actors.
dubbed.
I mean, it felt almost comical how bad it was.
Like, are we talking like early 2000s anime dub?
No, we're talking like you know when you see those videos of like comparing the dubs in different languages. It's
Mhm.
like those, but like take all the worst ones from all of them and put them together and make
Oh
it
no.
English.
Oh
Like that's how
no.
bad it was.
Oh no. That's awful.
Like yeah, it was grody.
Oh no.
I may have mentioned before last year I was like powering through Dragon Age 3 so I could play 4. So I replayed the whole thing, all 300 hours, and DLC I've never touched before. So it's pretty cool. I did that. Let's see what else I do. Started the next Dragon Age, which I've taken a break with. I just happened to just fall out of it. Got back into Street Fighter a little more and Tekken with Brian and Marcelo, kicking my ass in Tekken, learning
Yeah,
some new
yeah.
things like a dragon. But yeah, you know
Yeah,
that move.
I've been seeing you guys talking mechanics
Yeah,
in
yeah.
our Discord.
Oh,
Oh
we
man.
nonstop,
You
nonstop.
guys get real technical with it.
Oh, these two do.
See
I feel the
see
moment.
I've always been the one that just kind of goes in by feeling. I did not. Well, I should have suspected that Marcelo would be the guy that would pull out all of the stat sheets. Cause like I knew that he was getting super into it when he would send me pictures of like his work friends like getting all of the graphs out and seeing like what best combos link with what and like what are the percentages of like the frame data of each character that they're playing. Like, brother, you've gone way beyond my knowledge.
Reminds me of like kind of back in the day, people used to like for football games, you would get like the stat sheets, like the stat scorecards, and you would like fill them in as the game's going.
Hmm.
Not
Yeah.
very different, I'd say.
The level of
Destiny
depth.
came out with their new exotic missions with the Slayer Baron. And you got a new exotic called Slayer Fang. It was pretty cool. It's very Castlevania esque, so I really enjoyed it. I'm a big Castlevania fan.
Is it a
Um,
sword?
no, it's a shotgun actually.
Mm.
It's pretty cool. I like what they did with the mission mechanically as well. I just ran it again yesterday with my buddy Nelvin. Shout out to Nelvin. Um, and our boy Ren. So that was fun. We ran it real quick. Yeah, so we'll have to go through it, Brian. You and I will have to do some Slayer Baron killing. It'll be fun at some point.
Bruh, I don't even remember the last thing I did in Destiny 2.
Don't worry,
It's
we'll
been
get
so
to it
long.
eventually.
I
It's
definitely
been a
need
long
to
time.
reinstall the game at some point because I still want. I got to do my Queen's Walk.
One
Oh.
day,
One
one
day it's
day
gonna
we'll do
happen.
it.
That's my last
Yeah,
achievement for Riven's Bane.
You mean your Petra's run?
Petra's
Queen's Walk
Run,
is the
that's
last
what it is.
encounter.
Yeah, yeah.
He's already at the end. He's
He's
already
already
there
there.
mentally. That's good though. Yeah, and then just a lot of I've been getting a lot more figures. For those who can't see who are listening, I got a lot of proxies. Like this is a Vulture proxy of MCP. It's that one from Spider-Man Homecoming. I don't even like the Vulture, but I like that Vulture. So I was like, oh, I gotta get it.
Michael Keaton
I'm gonna paint
Vulture
that bad boy.
isn't.
Yeah,
It's pretty up there, except
yeah.
except in Morbius.
We don't.
We don't talk
What?
about
I'm not
Morbius.
talking about that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we don't talk about.
Yeah. Just pretty like chill break. Just kind of refining what I like and stuff, and lots of Street Fighter too. Love, haven't fell out of love with it yet. So Marcel just recently got back into it. I know we had that big session with our buddy Alex, also known as Rewinds, in the Destiny Discord. So we had fun with that the other day, and it's been fun learning and actually getting my supers down. Finally play, even if they don't hit. Like I actually put it in right. So that's been nice. But yeah, it's been a time, and yeah.
I like that you say that. Rediscovering yourself in video games, because I took a kind of accidental hiatus from gaming over the holidays, and I gotta say, like, finding the motivation to like get back into it is a little tough. Like when you because I
It
there's like a
is.
3 week break, and I mean
Feel
I like I got sick, so I spent a lot of time in bed, and I have been lately on a big anime binge. Like I'm just watching anime all
Hell yeah.
day.
Ooh.
And so finding the motivation to like sit down and do something else is getting hard.
Mm-hmm.
But I was kind of doing what you were just describing, like picking up old games that I haven't played in a while.
Yeah.
I played a little bit of Horizon Zero Dawn again,
Nice.
which,
Brian's played that.
well,
I love
funnily
that.
enough, it was my intro to that franchise. I didn't play the first one. So
Oh,
I
nice.
fell in love with that game. I mean, I was obsessed. And then I was like, okay, now I got to play the first one. And I didn't like it as much because it was going
Interesting.
backwards, like in terms of like how they improved the game, it was going backwards. So I got all
Yeah.
the shiny new stuff and like UI improvements, like quality of life improvements.
Yeah.
So that
So
that was fun. Picked up the
So-
Harry Potter game again, Hogwarts, whatever.
Legacy.
Yeah, Hogwarts Legacy. Picked up that again. Played a little Pokemon again.
Yeah. I want to ask you though, what about the first Horizon game for you that made you kind of fall off of it? Because I know I've tried to play it at least twice now, and I just keep falling off of it and trying to figure out why.
I don't think I can pinpoint like one specific little thing. It's like a series of like, if it was just that one thing, it would be fine. Like they definitely improved the combat mechanic. It's kind of like playing Assassin's Creed, like starting from the first Assassin's Creed game to where we are now, and like how far they've come with improving combat. Like it just felt a little stale,
Mhm.
and kind of it felt like they could have done more considering the scale of the first game. Um, and again, starting from the sequel and going backward, like starting with the improved mechanics, it was rough. I don't. It's not that I didn't like the game necessarily. It's just there's too many little things that I was like, I see why they improved that in the sequel. I'm just gonna play the sequel.
Okay. Yeah, because I don't know. I guess it's just because it's been so long since it's been out, and also I feel like Horizon's never had a fair shake when it comes to their releases. Because like what they got shafted by like Zelda twice,
Yep.
pretty much,
Yeah.
and like
Freaking
understandably
Nintendo.
because like it is Zelda. So, but at the same time, it's like Horizon itself is an interesting concept, but I don't know if it's just how old it felt for the type of game it was. Because what that came out in like 2017, the first one, along with the release of the Switch, so that tracks. But you say that the Forbidden West is a better improvement.
So Forbidden West is is the DLC, if I'm remembering correctly, because Zero
No,
Dawn is the base game.
no, Forbidden West is the sequel.
Right. So because Zero Dawn is the sequel base game, right? Am I remembering that correctly?
No, Horizon Zero Dawn's the first game.
Oh, okay.
Actually,
Oh yeah.
let me
Okay.
check because I have my copy around here. Let me. Here it is.
You're right. It is. Yeah. Forbidden West is the sequel. Uh,
Frozen Wilds was the expansion for
that's right.
Forbidden
That's what it
West.
was. Yeah. So I haven't played the DLC yet. I have it. Haven't played it.
Okay.
But I will. I do believe Forbidden West. I mean, again, like it's not the first game was not a bad game in my opinion. It's a great
No.
fun game, but like there's just it's improvements with like the crafting menu and like how you collect supplies to craft, and like the targeting mechanics. You know, like when you're like ADSing with your bow, when you're swinging your spear around, like it's like little things. So it's just too many for what they were trying to accomplish.
Mm-hmm.
It just felt like it could have been more.
Okay.
That's how
That's
I
fair.
felt with when I was younger. I played Crash Bandicoot 2 before Crash Bandicoot the original, and it's like, oh, the first one we could rent it at CompUSA or Blockbuster back in the day.
Damn. Wayback
Right,
Machine.
right, way back, and I was like, this is just not as good, you know, like I don't want to play this. This isn't as fun as the other one, and so I think sometimes it's better, like, even though like I had no attachment other than the second one, so I don't feel it's like I could go back and check it out. But it's like the second one's just better, does it better, you know what I mean?
I think it's funny though because there are definitely some games where like older like editions of the game still hold up against new releases of the game. I'm thinking specifically Super Mario 64.
Okay.
Like that game will always just be amazing.
Where no matter how bad the camera is, it's
No matter
still
how bad the
a
camera is.
grade A.
I mean, I'll be scrolling on the social media and find someone live playing that, like doing a speed run, and like I can't not sit there for like 10 minutes and watch. And it's all doing the like level skipping around, like the speed jumping thing, like what people were doing in Zelda.
Mm-hmm.
And Zelda's another example. A lot of those older games, like people will still say like those are some of the greatest games ever made.
Yeah. It's I don't know. Horizons was like one of those games that I wish I could get more into just because it has everything that I would enjoy within that world, but for I don't know. It's just for some reason it just doesn't click.
Well, it also, not only did it kind of get overshadowed by like the Zelda releases, but it also came out at a weird time for the PlayStation 4, like where Sony was with the games at that time.
Mm.
Because I remember there was a lot of hype going into it. Like when they announced that it was coming, there was a lot of hype around it. It was everywhere for a minute, and then it just kind of fell off.
Yeah, very true. Uh, well, we'll be
Hey, one more
talking a little.
thing.
Well,
One more thing. I forgot
okay.
to say on
What
my
is it?
break, I played a shitload of Helldivers. I have to say, our love
Yes.
for Helldivers is strong. Our one of our top videos is a Helldiver React video, so I gotta shoehorn it in real quick. That I've been having a lot of fun still playing it, and the addition of the Illuminate and the car was a lot of fun. I played hours and hours of Helldivers. I just want to make that. My love for Helldivers is still strong, and of course, all the love we've gotten from fellow Helldivers. Just thank you so much. you're watching.
For Super Earth.
That's all.
For Super Earth.
For Super Earth forever.
Well, we will definitely be hitching on to the PlayStation wagon for a little bit more in the news section for a little bit. But just because I forgot, I want to welcome everybody to United Reader Podcast, where a bunch of nerdy friends just hang around and talk about a bunch of nerdy stuff, like what's going on at PlayStation. And of course, we're going to be talking about everything that we know about the Switch 2 reveal that happened last week. But before I do that, again, like last time, if you're watching here live on Twitch, you can be hanging out in the chat with us, having this conversations along with us throughout this entire episode of the podcast. And as well as everybody out there on youtube.com/@UnitedWeNerd, you could leave your comment. Let us know what you think about the Switch 2, as well as everything else we'll be talking about today. Of course, you could also leave a like and subscribe as well, because YouTube's a fickle machine that needs validation at every moment.
I could think of another social media thing that's worse. But anyway, thanks to our fellow Helldivers for really getting us farther. I'm just going to keep pushing that for the next week. So,
come for the nerdy conversations. Yes. Stay for Super Earth.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. That's exactly it.
And also, speaking of contributing to Super Earth, again, we have the links for the LA National Food Bank in the description if you're on YouTube. If you're here on Twitch, just do !LA. If you feel like you want to donate to the LA National Food Bank for everybody that's suffering through the LA fires, please do. We highly appreciate it, and I know that they'll very much appreciate it. So just putting that out there for everybody, because they are still going through it. As far as I know, the fires are still going.
2 of the 3 fires are still burning.
So a little does a long way. And if you can't donate, share the link with everybody that you know. Hopefully, just spreading it out more will help tremendously. Other than that, what I was doing this past week, Joel, you graciously gave me the gift of Dragon Age the Veilguard.
Yes, I did. Merry Christmas, bitch.
So I popped it in a little bit on Sunday and a lot more on Monday. So I've roughly kind of am well into the intro of the game. I've gotten through the prologue, and I'm now kind of like in the beginnings of the Veilguard, and I don't know how to feel about this game yet.
Fair.
I don't know what's a spoiler and what's not, so I'm just gonna say I just reached the little like port town, like the second location you go to.
Okay.
After the beginning. Yeah. So yeah, it's very interesting because I haven't really played a BioWare game in a good long time. So in some ways it's refreshing, and in some ways I can't help but feel like I am comparing it to my experience with Mass Effect. And I'll give you an example. For one, I feel like the kind of dialogue choices do feel a little bit more freeing, but at the same time, I don't know why, but I feel like I have less options.
Really? I feel like they, at least with Inquisition, there was almost too many sometimes. I feel, but I definitely could feel that as well. I guess maybe they're more succinct, I feel. Do you think that captures it well, like a little bit?
Okay.
It's not a whole wheel. I don't know. Is that how you feel? I mean, also went from 3 straight into 4.
So.
I
guess that's kind of hard because I I never really played a Dragon Age game, so
Yeah.
my realm of experience is just solely based off of Mass Effect. And
Yeah.
even though Mass Effect really didn't have a lot of like different options, because it's like, oh, you have to choose Renegade or
Paragon.
Aragon.
Paragon. Thank you. And of course, neutral is like the like you can choose it if you want to, but you're not going to do that well. I don't know if there's anything like that in Veilguard. At least I don't think there is. It seems like it's mostly just kind of based on how you want your character to be. Because I know like the three options are like the kind of like happy-go-lucky kind of character, the very sarcastic character, and like the straightforward like no nonsense type of character. At
Yeah.
least that's what I'm feeling right now. I guess what I should be upfront and say I chose the bull person,
Oh, the
type of-
Canary.
the canary.
Nice. Yeah. Hell yeah, brother. Me too. Got my buddy Iron Bull from 3 right here.
Oh damn.
For those who don't know, I have an Iron Bull statue from Dragon Age 3. Pretty
Apparently,
Prince Jr., y'all.
oh, well, Freddie Prinze Jr. is just in all the BioWare games. Holy crap.
Yeah.
So I didn't know this at the time, but apparently choosing that race apparently gives you the best dialogue options in Veilguard. At least that's according to the internet. I don't know if that's true or not.
Oh, I've gotten some cool stuff, but
Do they have
I can
like
tell you.
racial and class specific like dialogue options? I don't know anything about this game. I
So
haven't played
far,
Dragon Age
so
since
far, I
Dragon
haven't
Age
seen
2.
any. But like according to like multiple different like websites and like blog posts, apparently like they are like compared to the other three races you can choose from have like the most robust dialogue options throughout the game. So I haven't seen what that entails yet. Maybe I'm just too early in the game to really understand. But I don't know. I felt like maybe it's just because I'm still too early, but I felt like you're able to like really talk to the characters in Mass Effect. Where in this one, when I'm outside of like regular story dialogue, like I feel like I can like barely talk to anybody. Like almost nobody has like a dialogue prompt when I walk up to them. And so I don't know. Maybe it's just because, those are characters you like never see again. So it's just kind of like, oh, wait until you get into the further into the game where you have more characters to really sink your teeth into. But that just caught me off a little bit because I was like, oh, I want to go. I'm at like this camp full of like mages and stuff. I want to like talk to them and see like what the deal is. And I walk up to them and there's no like text bubble. It's like, oh, okay. I'll guess I'll just go to the main mission.
I kind of see what you're saying. I think it's for me at least. Like I need to feel like I'm immersed in the world. So like what you're describing, like just having those NPCs that just kind of stand around and like talk with each other, and you can kind of like run up into them, get in their face, and they don't like can't talk to them. They don't like do anything or react
Yeah.
in any way. It can feel like a little immersion breaking.
Yeah. I think it's just like I was saying, it's like I'm so used to like how Mass Effect was where you could literally go up to anybody and the conversation might not be long, but at least they'll give you like, stop bothering me. Or, or some very like quirky, just like little like one liner or something like that. However, I will say I was not expecting to have maybe one of my favorite merchant interactions. And it's not so much as what they said. It's just the first merchant that you run into in the game like has some very basic stuff. And like, of course, it like shows stuff you'll be able to unlock later. But then normally in like any kind of game, when you're talking to a merchant, they'll be like, all right, see you later. Oh, get out of here. Doing like a little like little bit of a character thing, but I was not expecting to like the merchant and my character to have like a full on conversation as I am leaving. You know, because like the merchant was like, "Oh, you know, hopefully you'll you know, won't die out there because I could sure use your your patron like you around and give you some good gear." And then my character like responded to them like not of my will. It's just like my character by himself just like responded to them, and then the merchant responded back to me, and I was like, "Oh, that's actually fucking sick." Like I was not expecting that because I was
I know
already
exactly
like
who you're talking about too.
it's
know
like
that interaction.
I was already like on my way to like leave, and then she kept talking to me. I was like, "Oh shit, this is actually kind of cool." So yeah, I'll see what happens when I play a little more, seeing if it kind of ramps up a little bit. Seeing if it's just not the like beginners like slow start kind of thing.
I mean, that's fair. I think we're also spoiled by Baldur's Gate. Literally, everyone's ready to talk to you at any time.
Also
too, as
fair.
well. Because we've been going through that. I was kind of like I would say pushing us, but it's like, hey, we're on break. We should play a little more, and getting some double sessions and stuff. So we could always be like, "What's up, Carlac? What's up, Carlac?" Even she says, "What's up, soldier?" And that's it. We're like, "Yay!" Yay!
Yay.
So
Fair.
yeah. And
And
even
then, and then
our
you
enemies
got to make
have a
sure
lot
you
to say.
idle. You got to make sure you
Right.
idle by Carlac too. Watch her little happy dance.
Yeah.
Oh, she has a happy
Little, like,
dance.
Yeah,
she
she does a little dance.
Oh, oh,
You idle around her long
Um,
enough.
oh.
even Ketherick has a lot to fucking say before you put him in the ground, as you saw. So, yeah, I think that is kind of fair. I think you should go a little farther, but the stance I've been saying, a lot of people were like, "I played it and I hated it," and it's like, stop. Like, I mean, if you're
Yeah.
not feeling, this is what it's not you, but it's like people are like, "I put in 20 hours," and it's like, you could have stopped at 10. Like I don't get, like, why suffer through it. I don't know, but
I don't
I
hate it
do
yet.
want to say, if you could get to this guy named Lucanus, I think you would really like him. That's where I am right
Lucanus.
now. Lucanus is pretty. He's up your alley. That's because
I
I
will say
know
though.
you.
I will say though, Varys is that his name?
Eric.
Or Varric. Varric is my homie already. Like he was the one character that was my homie since like the first bit of dialogue, just the interaction between him and Rook. I was like, fuck yeah, I'm ride or die for this dude.
Varric was awesome in 3 for sure, and I think
Oh,
he
he's
was
a
in 1
continuing
or 2.
character.
He's a continuing character. Yeah.
Okay,
So yeah,
nice.
he's a homie.
But yeah, the combat is simple, but I do love that they did a good job of making hits feel good.
Oh
Because
yeah.
I'm playing a warrior class,
Oh yeah. You
and
get that
so
drop kick.
oh the drop kick's so much fun, especially because they made it super powerful. Like
Oh yeah.
I'm drop kicking like medium sized enemies off a cliff, and it feels super good.
It feels good.
But also just like it's nice that they give you two different weapons. So like a warrior gets a sword and a shield, and then they get a big hammer or like a maul.
Yeah.
And
You're not a real warrior unless you got a big hammer.
oh no, you have to have the big hammer. You need to be able to
And
smash.
onto that, I gotta add, it
Pop.
was kind of, you couldn't switch back and forth in 3. You would have to choose sword and shield. That's what we had, or heavy. I like that because now it's like kind of like a Souls like, right? It's like, oh, you just whatever you have ready to go, you can just switch your loadout, which is cool. I like that. I feel like if you dedicate yourself to a weapon in those kind of games, you're kind of stuck with it. Maybe
Yeah.
Survivor's just a little different, but yeah, it's like, oh, I could switch. This means a lot to me. Fuck,
Oh.
whack them.
Another little gripe, another little nitpick. I don't know if I can unlock this later, but as of right now, I'm kind of disappointed that I can't hotkey my allies' abilities like I could in Mass Effect.
You can.
You can, okay.
They'll tell you. They'll tell you later.
See, I kind of wish that they just gave it to you right away, because that's something that's like already kind of been like within like the BioWare world.
Yeah, I
So it's
think
like-
with this one, Mine. Oh, go ahead, finish, and I'll tell you my nitpick.
Well, because I was just saying, because I don't know. I'm the kind of person that, you know, yeah, I'll pull up the menu if I have to like select my ally's ability and like tell them to like who to hit. But sometimes if I'm just like fighting like one big enemy, I would just kind of want like right away just to be like, hey, zap him with a lightning bolt or something, or hey, give me, you know, damage buffs like right now, instead of having to pop open the sub menu, select the ally, and then have them lock onto the enemy and do it, or lock onto me and do it. You know.
Um, yeah, that's fair. You do. I think I just got it too. Like I was like, why didn't we get this sooner? But also, I think with this game, they're playing safe for like a wider range of people. They aren't going like a little hardcore. Like I was telling you before, and you know, it's telling my wife who's playing it too. Like she even told me before I started, like they kind of spoon feed you a little. They're taking it easy on the player, and I think
Okay.
because this is like the fourth one, they're kind of either they're starting a new branch of like a new trilogy and trying to bring people in, or they're just playing safe, which I get, but it's like this has a name to it. We could push a little more, I think, but maybe with Andromeda and Anthem, they're like really playing safe, you know? I mean, I thought Andromeda was great, but you know, everyone who had an opinion about it otherwise was like, yeah. And so now they're like, we need everyone's good graces, you know. So we're gonna take it easy, take it slow. If you want to make it harder for yourself, you know that option's there.
I mean, I guess that makes sense just because of how different the gameplay is compared to the other ones, at least as far as I
Oh yeah,
know.
that too. The three was a top down pretty much,
Okay.
and
Mm.
you could go in and out of it. I mean, you could have your character do stuff, and you would hold to select and whatever, and kind of hotkey and pause. But yeah, that one, like you could pause and select actions; they would go do it, and you could do like I could be behind my character or like yeah, like top down style.
Okay.
Well, this
Okay.
How
one's
it's a
more
Souls like
kind
it.
of yeah, it's like Souls like and kind of like the newer like Final Fantasy games too,
Oh yeah,
where like your allies are all doing stuff. It doesn't feel like I haven't played Dragon Age since Dragon Age 2. Uh, and I kind of remember like your allies would help you like in combat, but it was very much like they're gonna like when you engage in combat wherever your your party member was while they were following you, like that's kind of where they stay, and they're like
Mm.
slinging spells, or if, you know, they got a sword or whatever, that then they like run up. But I like the kind of more immersive combat where it's like everyone's kind of doing stuff at the same
oh
time.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I really like at the end. This is just me being like, oh, this is cute. It's like at the end, the allies will compliment you or each other. They'll be like, "Oh, good job, Neve," or "Nice," you know, or like that was a good hit, Rook. I was like, "Ooh, I know you don't care, but I feel like you care." You know, like
I
it's a
feel
nice little thing. Like,
validated.
"Ooh, good. Oh, nice wrap up, Rook." And it's like, "Ooh, Rook." It's like, "Ooh, yeah." I feel it.
That little tiny hit of
Yeah,
dopamine.
it's funny. Like you know, Bioware's been around for a long time. It's like the thing that they're hit and misses, but when they hit, it's like feels good.
Okay. But yeah, so I've only kind of just, you know, scratched the surface of that, so I will be continuing the journey, and I'll give you guys updates when I kind of feel like
Damn,
it.
I should play it too. I've been all action, like shooters and shit.
Is it
Uh,
is there like any multiplayer or like co-op in
no, they took it. I think 3 was the last one.
Uh,
So yeah, it's just single player right now. Uh, I was kind of expecting them to do a little something. I think again they're playing safe. They need to like you need to get in EA's good graces or
like
whoever's,
I
I
honestly
guess.
think they wanted to just get this out as is what it is, and then go full steam ahead on Mass Effect 4.
Oh, that's what they've been saying for sure. They know that's their baby, aside from Coder. But yeah, they need to all hands on deck for that.
and you know, I don't know if anybody really wants to be in EA's good graces right now because EA's in hot water at the moment with them shutting down the Origin app.
Mm.
Is that a bad thing though?
I'm not saying it's
Is that
not
a bad
so it's
thing?
I'm
Let me
looking
say
at it
EA's money. I should have said EA's money.
so that's what it is. They're not shutting it down because it's a bad app. They're shutting it down so they can force you to buy their subscription plan for their new app that they're releasing.
Okay. So,
EA something.
so they're killing a shitty app for another probably shitty app that you have to pay for. Okay.
If you want to access your game. They're going to put your shit you've already paid for and have been playing forever behind a paywall.
You know, it's never worked before. Maybe it'll work this time.
Right?
Well, Steam is right there.
Yeah,
ready and waiting.
Start hustling through Veilguard then. That's what it sounds like. We gotta get through it quick.
One by one, these self-publishing game apps will rise and fall, and then they will all go back to the Lord Master Steam.
Savior of the video game universe.
Savior of the video game universe. Where for some reason,
wallet.
Except for Ubisoft. Ubisoft will probably try to make another fucking launcher that you have to use. I'm still mad about that. I last time I bought a Ubisoft game on my PC, I bought Uno because it was very cheap. And then they forced me to download their I guess now it's called like Ubisoft Plus or something, like, or not Plus, but like it's not Uplay anymore, but it's whatever they turned Uplay into. I don't know. Well, you know what? EA can just deal with that and all the people complaining about how bad Apex is. Well, I just sit here looking.
Apex has become. Apex was a great game.
Oh, Apex was a great game.
Yeah, keep that Apex slander out your mouth.
Like a few years ago. Hey,
Apex slander will not be tolerated.
I am I'm just getting to the point where I am emotionally scarred and like hollow inside, knowing
that's where you want to be. That's when it gets good.
No. Not because of Apex, because I have lived through two little tidbits of maybe the hope of Titanfall 3 being in existence and having them snatched away from me. They dangled the carrot in front of me too many times, and then they take it away. So now I'm just sitting here, looking across the distance at all the people that are now, pitching a fit about how Apex is still unbalanced and how the audio is still all fucked up. And I'll just be sitting here looking like me and the last couple thousand players of Titanfall 2 are just having a fucking blast in this fucking old ass game.
Do they still have servers up?
Yes.
Wow.
They had servers up fucking 3 years ago, and I was surprised. I went into it late. And it's a fucking amazing game. Please, if you haven't played it, go play it. Whoever is listening, watching. But yeah,
it's always on sale. You can get it for $5. Does not matter what system it is. Hop in. There was a point in time where the PC servers got not hacked, but they got DDoSed, and then they were down for so long. The fans made dedicated servers for the game so that they could play, and then miraculously, like early last year, they just got fixed somehow. So everybody can just be happy and play Titanfall 2. The game that, inspired Apex and is arguably a better fucking game. Bet in the chest says, Brian, you should look up Diesel King or Diesel Knights. It's Steampunk Titanfall. Ooh. Hold up.
That sounds cool.
That sounds rad as shit. But yeah, I will look at the carnage with a dry eye, knowing that in an alternate reality, I could be dropping in on my Gen 3 Titan and have a ball.
This game is literally like a lower quality Titanfall.
Let me see.
What's it called again? Diesel what?
Diesel
Knight.
Knights.
I'm looking at the screen grabs on the
Oh.
Steam store. Like there's the wall running.
Bro. You know what this looks like? It looks like if Titanfall was put into like Call of Duty World at War.
No, you got to go a little bit further back.
A little bit further back? Okay. How about
like Call of Duty 3, I think.
Okay. No, actually, yeah. Like these people, whoever made this, it's not even released yet. Developer. Oh, it's a one-person developer.
Yeah.
Xavier B. Johnson, publisher, The Keyframe Crew. They are literally saying if EA will not do Titanfall 3, we will do it ourselves.
I mean, this is how Dota started. Just people taking Warcraft stuff and making their own game with it.
I am wishlisting and requesting beta access. This looks fucking cool. I'm down for an alternate Titanfall experience. Well, sick. Sometimes you just gotta have to, put it into somebody else's hands. Will it be good? I don't know, but I'm always down. What else? Oh, I watched Castlevania Nocturne Season 2 this past weekend.
I'm only on episode 1.
I won't say anything. I'll say, yeah, I had a real good time. Binge watched the entire season one sitting.
Hell yeah!
In our group chat, Ben was saying how it felt like they kicked it up a notch for their animation, and I agree. Like especially like near the end, like some of the action scenes get real pretty, real quickly. But I just also find it amazing that in Smash Brothers Ultimate, Richter is the Echo Fighter for Simon Belmont, and I was like, motherfucker, Richter should have been the main guy because he does all this cool ass shit. He does all this like sick like magic, like vampire hunting bullshit, and it's like he looks like the most OP Belmont that has ever existed. I don't know about a lot of other Belmonts, but Richter for right now is my dude.
So I'm not. I watched the first Castlevania show that came out. It was amazing. Okay. It was beautiful, and I'm not like super big on the like timeline of Castlevania stuff, but like in terms of this new kind of Castlevania world we're in, like where does this one fit in? Is it like after the events of?
Yes. Okay. So Richter is like 9 generations after Trevor.
Richter does not have all the old and absurd relics that Simon had.
Yeah, so somewhere in between Trevor and Richter, like Simon is there somewhere. Which I guess in modern times it doesn't make sense because like Simon looks like a barbarian, but you have like a very old classic Englishman and then like a kind of newer like old English like person. Like so it's kind of weird. But yeah, so it's like a couple 100 years after the first series of the anime. Okay. So like at this point yeah,
because Alucard's still in it, right?
Yep.
He has like a cameo, or okay,
he's in it, and like Alucard at this point would be like hundreds of years old at this point.
I think he says, without saying too much, it's been like 200 or 300 years since Trevor or something like that. He's like Belmonts have been the same the past whatever 100 years.
Yeah. So it's just kind of in that kind of ballpark.
Okay.
But
It's
yeah,
on my list of shows to get into.
if you like the first series, like this one is just more.
Great. Love it.
I am excited though, because now that it is done, because I believe they're only doing 2 seasons. So I believe
Yeah.
Castlevania Nocturne is done
I know what you're excited for. Go ahead, Brian. Come on.
because this summer, I believe in May, we're finally getting the Devil May Cry anime from the same studio. So we're gonna get Castlevania, but Devil May Cry, and I'm gonna be fucking excited. It's gonna be sick. I will get used to the fact that Johnny Young Bosch is playing Dante, and it'll be weird to me because it'll sound like Nero instead of Dante. But you know what? As long as it's better than the first Devil May Cry anime, I will be fine. I'll have all of the
just
Wahoo Pizza
recreated.
time.
Just season 1 remade.
Don't put that on me.
I'm not.
Good.
You're,
Because
you're the snake, baby.
I want them to go all the way, whatever they're doing with that.
Considering the success of Castlevania, I'm damn sure they're gonna do a good job.
I get the feeling that because the Castlevania was made for Netflix, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
So
I
if
think
it's
so.
if it's the same studio, I imagine Netflix will probably want to sink their teeth into it, and with the success of Castlevania, they'll probably throw a lot of money at it.
I mean, to be fair, they've been kind of batting. Oh, maybe not 1,000, but they've been doing a pretty good job with their kind of like video game / kind of media properties recently. You know, because like
True.
One Piece was really good. You know, fans are here or there about it. I can understand, but like for somebody that's not inundated with One Piece, I thought it was pretty interesting. Even though it is a like fast forward of like the first like 2 arcs.
And season 2 is coming out soon.
Hey,
I thought the Witcher anime wasn't too bad. It was like an anime movie. And then
I
I
still
have like
haven't seen
limited
that
knowledge
yet.
of The Witcher. I have limited knowledge. I just played 3 and watched the show, so I thought it was
Okay.
all right.
I'm glad you brought up The Witcher though, because I just recently re-binged the entire series and watched the like origin story. It's like 4 or 5 episodes. It's really,
I do
really
like
short.
it. I've heard mixed things about the origin one, but I mean I don't care. I'll probably like it. I'm just curious, like you've seen it, so I can actually ask someone.
I mean, I think it does a good job of telling a like specific lore story. I mean, it's like setting you up to learn how Witchers get made and like
Okay.
why the Witchers became a thing. I think the characters lacked some depth because they're compressing it into 4 or it's a very short limited
Yeah,
series.
yeah.
So they're compressing a lot of world building into 4 hours worth of TV. But I mean, visually, it was The Witcher. The fight choreo was incredible. Um, just the feeling that you have of being in the world is, I mean, it's the exact same thing. So setting aside Geralt not being there, it's a good watch. Definitely
Okay.
would recommend watching it at least.
Okay. I'll have to check it out then.
Nice. Other than that,
Jerry of Rivera. Jerry.
Very.
Jerry of the Rivera.
Sarah, where are you?
Oh God. This is the modern one we need.
I just want to sleep.
Roach is just like some beat up pickup. Yeah, it's my Rod Roach. Slaps the car.
Jenny, Jenny, why?
Oh my god. His sword is just like a fucking. It's just a hammer. It's not like special or anything. It's regular old.
Okay.
It's bonking time.
Oh my god.
God.
Should we maybe hop into some news from this past week?
Oh yeah, we got one that happened over the weekend.
Got one to have over the weekend. I guess we can. Well, you know what? Fuck it. Let's just go over that first. It's the small. I think it's the smallest thing. Of course. For anybody that was awake this past Saturday, got to see in real time the TikTok ban go into effect for about 8 hours until it was not. But the big thing that kind of caught everybody else off by surprise is that TikTok wasn't the only thing that went down for a good bit. Marvel Snap got hit with it too because it's published by ByteDance in a way, or it's like oh no, it's ByteDance specifically.
Is it? I thought.
Yeah.
I mean, okay.
Yeah, it was weird because I had to look it up because when we were playing D&D on Saturday, and it's like, oh, TikTok ban went live, and I was like, oh, and then I got like a ping from like the Marvel Snap thing being, oh, we're not live in the US anymore. It's like, what the fuck? And so I tried to open it up and it's like, oh, sorry, I can't play in the US. I was like, what the fuck? So yeah, apparently, even though let's see, Marvel Snap is made by, I want to get their names right, this team's name correct. Second Dinner Studio is the studio that made the game. It's published by ByteDance, or basically a company owned by ByteDance. And so because of the ban, they got taken offline as well. Now, unlike TikTok, they couldn't get back up and running like TikTok did. And so they were pretty much down throughout the whole weekend. And they, I believe yesterday, just got their services back online. But
Fully.
So the game was back on. I think you couldn't still make transactions in the game.
Oh, sorry, you're talking about Marvel Snap.
Oh yeah, sorry. TikTok is TikTok. But what I ran into the issue is that because of the ban, they got removed from the app stores like Apple, Google, whatever. So even though the game was back online, if it wasn't updated, you can't update it because it's not in the App Store. So right now, I cannot play Marvel Snap, and I'm sad.
Can't play even if you wanted to.
Can't play if I even wanted to. But I guess a little bit of news that came out of that is that Second Dinner Studios made the announcement when they went back live, is that they are actively looking for a new publisher, which is interesting. So they were completely caught off guard by this as well. They were not told that they are going to be taken offline when the TikTok ban started. So that was a very interesting kind of little thing. I'm glad that they were able to get at least most of the game back online. And then as far as like them looking for a new publisher so that this doesn't happen again, I don't know what that will entail, because you don't really get this kind of situation most often in the gaming area, you know. So it's a little...
there's rumors that Mr. Beast is shopping around to buy TikTok. So maybe Mr. Beast will just buy the publishing company that. Uh,
Will our phones start to decompose?
yes.
Oh,
Hmm.
lovely.
That's when I'm done with
Yeah.
TikTok when he owns it. I'm done
We'll
with that.
get that different kind of blue cheese.
Uh,
Well, what's funny about the TikTok ban is
Hmm.
that for like 5 hours before, and even now still, like every 3 videos is an Instagram ad.
Yep. Hmm.
So, Zuck is definitely throwing money,
Hey,
being
man.
like, might not be around that much longer. Why don't you come back over here to me?
Are you saying that it's not a coincidence that he would announce a 3 minute Instagram reel upgrade?
Right around this time? No, it's not
Yeah.
coincidental at all. Especially when you remember that he's the driving force behind the band.
oh
Hey, man. It pays to pay a shit ton of money to be front row.
It pays to have money.
Yeah, exactly. Um, and
Can't relate.
I know that you put it into the chat the other day, but also mentioning that Tencent was also recognized as like a military company.
Yeah, the DOJ labeled Tencent as an extension of the Chinese military, which, for those who don't know, Tencent is a media conglomerate, a Chinese media conglomeration company, and they have their hands in so many video game
hmm
studios. And while the ban, the legislation for the ban doesn't explicitly say that it can be applied to any like company, what the legalese in there, what they were really good about doing was leaving it open to interpretation. Because
Hmm.
what it doesn't do is it doesn't specify that the Chinese company has to have a certain percentage of ownership, which when things like these have happened in the past, the legislation has been like they have to have like a majority share. So that's at least 51% of ownership of the company. And the thing with Tencent is like there's some studios out there where like they just have like 1 or 2% ownership of the production company, but that
Right.
still technically means that they can be targeted by this legislation. Now, the interesting thing is that Tencent doesn't need to look for an American buyer like TikTok does. Tencent
Right.
will just pull the media. They'll be like, oh, we can't operate in the US. Great. Sorry, Americans. It's gonna be over here and you can't have it.
So I just looked up a rough estimate of the different kind of game studios that Tencent has like a share of.
Mhm.
Let's see. Riot Games, Tencent owns 99.7% of Riot. So it's League of Legends. Yeah, it's, the people that made Arcane. It's the, 2XKO developers. They have 5% stake in Activision Blizzard. So that's basically everything from Call of Duty to, Overwatch and, and World of Warcraft, to say less. Epic Games, they have a minority stake. So it's like your Fortnites. That's just like Epic in general. Like the Unreal Engine is also involved in Epic. So that's something. Owns a stake in Roblox. 99 owns 99.99% of Ubisoft, owns a minor stake in FromSoft, Remedy, so on and so Larian Studios.
30% ownership of Larian Studios.
So It's a lot of gaming studio. It's a lot of the games that a lot of people really like. That
You
Supercell.
saying that my Baldur's Gate is communist?
I mean, kinda is if you really think about it. It's a pretty,
You saying
it's a pretty commie game.
you saying
Marvel Rivals.
you saying
Everybody
that's a
loves Marvel
commie game?
Rivals.
Supercell. They
You
have
don't,
a
hey, you don't know
they
what's
own
in those.
84% of Supercell.
You don't know what's in those jungles. You can't see from beyond the lanes.
Well, Crash Royale is really just a military training simulator.
Oh boy.
I'm at the
Hey man,
capitalist.
those
yard.
Valorant players can do some fucking moves. Watch out.
We're
But
on
yeah,
the field 10 years from now. Bro, I'm about to get 360 no scope by a 10-year-old. Fuck.
Discord, funnily enough, Tencent
Oh,
owns an undisclosed amount of Discord.
you mean the thing that we're talking to each
The
other with
very
right
thing that
now?
we are yes.
Are we commies now? Are we red?
You know what? The Chinese spy in my phone has gifted me with countless hours of memes. He's cool in my opinion.
Speaking of Chinese spies, I downloaded that app. It wasn't so bad, but it's funny. The last day of TikTok. I mean, I'm not gonna fucking go to Reels. The last day of
Or
TikTok,
YouTube Shorts? You
Fighter
wanna get on
straight up
YouTube Shorts?
posted
Fuck YouTube
Chun Li with
Shorts.
the music from the app, which I thought was hilarious, or like
Oh.
the Chinese national anthem. Yeah, it's just funny. It's like, oh, it's like, see you guys soon.
I gotta, you know what? I gotta admit, I hesitate. I waited, as long as I could before moving over to the app. It is so refreshing on that app. It's
Oh,
such a different
it is.
experience. You're not
Oh,
being
yeah.
bombarded with ads. There's
Oh,
no
hell
content
no.
creators trying to sell you stuff.
No, there's like, this is what I do. Here it is.
Yeah. And it's honestly, I think this is going to go down as one of the most interesting cultural experiments, so like socio-cultural experiment
mean,
that's ever happened.
That's
More
true.
people. I mean, did you guys see Duolingo's tweet?
No.
The official Duolingo Twitter account tweeted out, "Oh, so now you want to learn Mandarin?"
Funny enough, with the influx of so many people, they added a translate
They did.
update.
And
I didn't have that the
Oh.
first day. I was
Yeah.
like, fuck Reels, fuck you, Mark. I'm gonna download the actual commie app. Fuck you, US government. And then they added translate. I was like, oh wow.
Yeah.
Never mind.
So now, like,
Interesting.
because of that, you can now translate the comments in the comment section. And funny enough, so old news at this point, but the app became the most downloaded app in the United States on the Apple Store and the Google Play Store. Not only was it the
That's
most
funny.
downloaded app in America, it was the most downloaded app in France, UK, Germany, and Australia around the same time, because all of those people were like, well, wait a minute, all my favorite American content creators are going away. I gotta follow them where they go.
That's literally what it was.
It's
like I miss my American friends. That's why I'm here. Like
Yeah.
UK, Australia.
It's such a weird phenomenon of like you think that it's like there's these like insular pockets of media stuff. You don't really realize like, oh shit, like especially these content creators, like, oh shit, like I didn't realize I had followers from other countries, really.
It's so wild.
Yep.
It's a crazy time right now.
Who knew that taking away something to protect was just pushing someone over the edge even more?
You know what? I love it though, because it just really goes to show how petty millennials and Gen Z folks are.
Oh, of course.
They're like, oh, so you're going to take it
1000%.
away? You're going to take away our thing because data? Well, fine. We're just going to go direct to the source and give it directly.
And then they're sweating in the Oval Office. Fuck, put TikTok back.
We didn't anticipate this. Oh no.
You can have it back.
TikTok back.
You can have it back. Just stay over here where it's nice.
Don't you just want to stay home? That's what you millennials like to do anyway. You like to stay
Yeah,
home.
I can stay home and see videos now of people being able to afford groceries. That's something I don't want you to talk about.
Ugh.
Mhm.
Well, speaking of blunders, PlayStation has been having a time of it with their strategy of games as a service. With in the span of a little over a year, they have downsized their original 12 games as a service plan now down to 6 at the moment.
So when you say games as a service, what are we talking about?
So talk about like live service, always online, microtransactions, like so like kind of like your Fortnites, kind of your,
Got okay.
Valorant's, your
Destinies.
Destiny 2's.
Destinies, Call of Duties. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like those kind of games, like free to play, but microtransactions, cosmetics, and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So last year, Sony or PlayStation announced that they are planning on going full ahead on like a games as a service idea because they're talking about like doing these big budget AAA games as being too expensive and like they have to figure out a way to make it work and whatnot. And so it's just like, okay, I don't know how you're going to be doing that with 12 games to service games in a pool of other games that are already competing for your time and money.
Yeah, that's a choice.
That's a choice. And just a little history. People remember maybe Concord that came and went in the span of 2 weeks last year.
Now I don't even know what you're talking about.
So strap in,
That's
Joker.
how fast it went.
Strap in, because
it was a moment.
it was literally a moment in time. So
Literally.
Concord was kind of the first step into the games as a service plan. It was going to be, a live service game where it was kind of like a team-based shooter, kind of not kind of like Overwatch, but it's like Overwatch kind of mixed with
I'd say Rivals almost.
Kind of like
Rivals,
like a battle royale kind of.
but like against NPCs. So it's like it's a team-based kind of like hero shooter. And the whole plan was that every week there was going to be new story, like new cutscenes to watch of like, and like you get to expand and grow out the world. However, their fumble was that you had to pay $40 to play the game. And nobody wanted to play it because even though it wasn't a bad game, it wasn't a great game. And so paying a live service game $40 just to play it, nobody cared about it. And the launch was so bad, they shuttered its doors in 2 weeks. The game came out 2 weeks later. All right, we're closing shop. Everything, shutting it down.
Wow.
Which is wild because you have to think of the process. Like animators probably animated a lot of like cutscenes for it.
Yeah.
Secret level
And how much they probably had like for future releases that they had been working on and investing money into.
And the amount of money it took to make that game, all that money's down the toilet because they did refunds. They did refunds for anybody who did buy it, which was great, which was nice. It went even so far that that they didn't plan this would happen because Secret Level, the Amazon show, had a Concord episode, which was supposedly supposed to advertise Concord, a game that doesn't exist anymore. So that happened. And so it kind of created this big fluster within PlayStation. Their big foray into live service gaming is off to a really bad start. over the last week or so, we got news that apparently there was a God of War live service game being maybe not developed, but like being planned by Blue Point, which was kind of weird because I don't know why Blue Point would be making a God of War game and not Sony Santa Monica. That
That's
being
kind of
said,
interesting news, though, because do you remember several years ago they had, I think it was like a PSP game.
yes, God of War
It, the,
Ascension, I think it's called.
yeah, but it was like an arena game where
Yeah,
you like you could fight with like you're like a gladiator basically fighting with your friends.
yeah. So that got canceled.
Of course.
And then also in the news, Sony Bend, the studio that made Days Gone, was apparently also making a unannounced games as a service game that also got canceled this past week. Let's see. There was a lot more. Bungie was also apparently developing another game alongside Marathon that was called Codename
Yeah, they were.
Gummy Bear that
I
got
heard about that
canceled.
one. Yeah.
Yeah, that one I heard about.
Marathon is still being made, so that's one game. There was
They need
apparent
Marathon to work.
late last year, the Last of Us multiplayer was canceled. That was being made by Naughty Dog, but now that was canceled last year. And the news as of today, apparently there was speaking of Horizon, Joby, there apparently was a Horizon MMO being developed
I heard about that.
that just got canceled.
I figured.
There's no news because apparently there's two online games being made based off Horizon, so there's still technically one that could be in
hope.
development.
There's hope.
But yeah, apparently there was an MMO Horizon that
Yeah.
was being made,
Yeah.
and it is no more.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I was I remember reading looking into the rumor mill on that one, and people were speculating if it was gonna be like a true MMO where you could like play as the different clans,
mhm.
and if they would like kind of follow in that like World of Warcraft style where like you can fight for control of parts of the continent. It had potential. That sucks.
Oh, and I was just looking over this IGN article. That's also not to mention the Spider-Man multiplayer game that had
Yeah, that
test
leaked
footage leaked.
man.
That got
Yeah.
canceled, as well as I didn't even remember this being in the news, but also apparently a Twisted Metal online game got canceled
Yep.
as well. So that's a lot of games that got canceled.
And a lot of big, like medium to big titles too.
Yeah.
For franchises that some of it could make sense, some of them don't make sense to have a multiplayer game.
Yeah.
God of War was the one that kind of scratched my head, especially like the modern God of War that we have now. Like doesn't, at least to me, doesn't make sense on to have a multiplayer game, because when you're playing God of War, you want to play as Kratos. So
Yeah.
what's the incentive onto having like your own random
You're a
God?
Valkyrie and you punish other players. That's what it is.
I guess.
Well, and like what era of God of War would it be set in? Like, are we going to go back to ancient Greece?
So
or like, are we going to be in Valhalla land?
So that's the thing, because Ragnarok had the Valhalla roguelite DLC.
Yeah.
That's really good. And so I guess if you were to make that area to a multiplayer game, I guess that could work. And that way you could just encompass all of God of War, because Valhalla is just a weird mindscape anyway. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like which era it's in. You could have like God of War 3 Kratos and God of War Ragnarok Kratos, and you can have, you know, Zeus, and you can have Odin, and all
Crash
these other
Bandicoot,
characters. Crash
other
Bandicoot.
Naughty
Fuck
Dog
it.
sisters,
Fuck it. Who cares?
Jack and Daxter.
I was just about to say, just throw Jack and
Bring
Daxter
back
there.
Jack and Daxter. I
But-
actually wanted to, one more.
No,
I know
go
you're
ahead.
about to say something, Brandon, but after
Go
that,
ahead, go
I want to shoot something at both of you.
No, go ahead. Go for it.
I hate that this is like kind of an example, but do you think with some games they could or should like kind of shut down and come back, kind of like No Man's Sky, or do you think that's an unfair comparison? Because I feel like that's also like a good example, but it was so rare, you know. But I mean, they also like they didn't totally shut down. They certainly got fucked over, but they cut all communication. They didn't talk to anyone, and then they just re-released their product for better or for worse. I'm just wondering, do you think like a live service game could do that? I mean, I guess No Man's Sky kind of did it, but you know, or they actually did it. But it's such like an unfair standard at the same time. Just do you think it's like worth it for them to do that?
Honestly,
Even if they took a big L, like they could try to rebrand.
Nobody can do the rebrand like Cyberpunk did. That was a master class.
That's true. That's also
in
one
fair.
did it too.
Uh,
That was another one.
yeah.
to be honest, in this day and age, as far as gaming goes, I feel like if even like you had a game that was a G.A.A.S game, right? And you could already see the writing on the wall that it was not going to be successful. I think that's better than releasing it and shutting it down and trying to make it work, because if it didn't work the first time, I don't think it's going to work again. Because I'll give you an example, Joel. Remember, what? It was Knockout City, and I'm so sad.
Was that the Battle Royale one we played, the wrestling one?
No, Knockout City was the dodgeball one, but I was also trying to remember the name of the wrestling one. I feel so bad because it was actually a really fun game.
It was fun, yeah.
I want to say it was.
I'm gonna look it up real quick.
Well, while you looked it up, but like Rumbleverse. Thank you. Fuck. Rumbleverse was really fun because it took the idea of the battle royale. It was like, hey, what if everybody was just a pro wrestler? And so you're going throughout a city and you have to collect these wrestling moves and like upgrade them and fight all the other wrestlers in the city. And like you have like these wrestlers climbing up skyscrapers like it's Rampage, and like doing elbow drops off of like a skyscraper onto like somebody, doing massive damage. It was wild, but it couldn't last 8 months just because the market for games as service games is so tight, because you have the Fortnites, you have the PUBGs, you have the Valorants taking up all the space.
That's what I was going to say. I think with the current market of the current titles out there and how much like space they take up in the current market of what's available, I think it's a bold choice to not only release 12 new, or, attempt to release 12 new titles. I would even say 6 new titles is a lot. That's a bold choice, considering you're competing against Call of Duty and Fortnite, especially. Fortnite just keeps growing. To release, especially as like a free to play, like battle arena, whatever kind of game, against those, to release it and then pull it, you're already competing against the player's urge to be like, why would I play that when I can play Call of Duty? Why would I play that when I can play Valorant?
It's like, I can already play as Kratos and Aloy in fucking Fortnite. Why do I want
like why do I need that? Because that's retail space in the player's brain.
Yeah.
Right. Like, so you're already competing against that, and then you're gonna pull it the fans are gonna be like, okay, well, I didn't really want to play this game anyways, so I'm just gonna go back to it's no money out of it's no skin on my back. I didn't pay for the game, so I'm just
Mhm.
gonna go back to playing Call of Duty. Like,
Yeah. And also I just feel like it's the the climate of I don't know how many people are raring for these franchises to have multiplayer games or like online games. Like I feel like people would
That's
rather
fair.
just have, the next God of War or,
yeah,
the next Last of Us game or, X,
Spider-Man
Y, and
3.
Z or yeah, Spider-Man 3, And it's not to say that Sony isn't making like the same single player games because we still got Wolverine coming soon. We got,
yep,
so many we got what was it? Hyper Skate or
I know what you're
Intergalactic.
talking about. The
Intergalactic
Intergalactic.
from Naughty Dog. And it seems like as of recently, it seems like PlayStation is kind of going like, okay, maybe we should try to focus on, maybe doing smaller games. Cause like look at Astrobot. Game of the Year winner all around, like
yep.
this past December. And it was a smaller game that everybody loved. And it did really well. So I feel like hopefully that kind of shows PlayStation saying, okay, we can still do our AAA big blockbuster games, but also we can maybe try to do these smaller games in the meantime, to, not spend so much money, but like recoup some of the costs that the bigger AAA games would take up. That's not to say that, we are probably still getting Marathon. There are some other games as a service game, like the other Horizon game that hasn't been announced yet, that is supposed to be a games as a service game, but we don't know how long that will be. So it's just a waiting game,
I
honestly.
think it's also you got to take into account the demographics of gaming right now. You know, you mentioned that there was a Twisted Metal title that was like rumored and or it was like they announced it and then they canceled it. That's a franchise not I don't even I would hesitate to even call it a franchise, but like that's a
There's
game
multiple
title
games
that but that's something that like
of the
we
era
had.
of
Yeah.
yeah,
Like
I can
and
agree with that.
and
Yeah.
and millennials by and large we're kind of slowing down with our gaming a bit. We're just talking to some of my friends, they're like, I don't want to spend money on video games anymore. I kind of want to find my game and that's going to be my game. That's what I'm going to play. And I'm okay with that. And so but then and the millennials who are still like really into playing games, they're having kids.
yeah,
Like they
that's
want to play
true.
games with their kids, which
Yeah.
means like how like you look at a game like
Papa
Astrobot and you're like
Nintendo coming
you're like
back.
yeah,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
this is our segue here, but like you look at a game like Astrobot, which it is a beautiful game. It's a fantastic idea,
Yeah,
very unique. Absolutely came out of left field with just how great it was. But it's a family friendly game. Like that's a game that you can play with your kids.
yeah.
And and then you have to remember like who right now owns the most real estate in the video game industry? Gen Z. And like
Yeah.
especially like the younger side of Gen Z, they're still reliant on their parents credit cards for the most part to buy
Fair.
video games. And so if they can't go out and buy drop $70 on a brand new video game, like they're gonna play the big titles that all their friends are playing that are free to play.
I mean, that's fair. You know, either that
It's
or,
not this.
whatever services that they can use, whether it's the PlayStation Plus like services or the Game Pass services. That's very fair.
And we're not
Uh,
going
So
to
yeah,
talk
like you
about
guys are saying,
PlayStation
read the
Plus.
room. Twisted Metal, like I don't know.
Yeah, like I haven't even thought about that game in like 20 years.
the show is apparently pretty fun. I haven't watched it, but that's just because
Same.
I
like
didn't
you're
even know
saying,
they made a show.
had Anthony Mackie in it
Peacock.
and
Yep.
Samoa Joe.
Oh, well, if it's Anthony Mackie's in it, then I got to check it out.
But no, I was like, you're right though, Joe, because like, who besides like our generation like knows of Twisted Metal as a gaming franchise?
Yep.
It's very
And
true.
just talking about like the money stuff, video games are more expensive than they ever were.
Uh-huh.
And we got stuff that we got to take care of now. Like, it's no secret I'm a big Magic the Gathering fan. I haven't bought Magic cards in so long because I just don't have money for
Facts.
it. Right?
Big facts.
I'm seeing all these new sets come out and I'm like, ooh, those cards look sick. I'm never gonna buy
Oh
it.
well.
Yep. Yeah, I'm not spending it on Destiny cosmetics. I'm fucking buying minis, man.
But see, that's what we're doing. We're trading one hobby for another.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, we are.
But
But speaking of things,
Till Baldur's Gate 4. But yeah.
speaking of, ever golden franchises and platforms, the Switch 2 got revealed last week.
Yes. Yes.
We finally know what it officially looks like instead of unofficially looks like.
Yes.
and it looks amazing.
It looks pretty sick. I am going to.
I got one gripe, but yeah,
I'm going to do my best to do some video magic. So everybody on the audio realm, please stand by. But yeah,
just talk about it, I guess.
So while you get this set up, I want to hear your gripe about it. I'm curious.
So we're about to see the video. It's the connector, the side connector, the prong sticking out. I feel like that's
that. You know what? Yeah,
that's asking for trouble. I've talked about it with a few people. I don't think that's good, but maybe there's something I don't know. Maybe there's like extra magnets or something. I don't fucking know. But I think sliding it in was good, but I don't know.
Roll that.
Still gonna probably get it anyway. So
yeah, of course.
But yeah, so we have. I don't know how to do this anymore. I guess we should just kind of go frame by frame a little bit, just to kind of give everybody an idea of what this is. So we have the. I know how to do this. I swear. I'm going to do playback speed.
a headphone jack is nice.
So yeah, we still get a headphone jack, but what's the interesting thing is, Joby, we last week on the podcast, we talked about what were the rumors, what this thing was going to look like, and for more or less, it's pretty much spot on to what the leaks were saying. Like right here, we have the USB-C port on the bottom, and right here we're gonna see the second one on the top. So we got two USB ports. We have the new U-shaped kickstand that is very limber for what this console is going to be.
And that was one of my things about the OLED was the kickstand. It gets stuck and you feel like you're going to rip the entire back off of your Switch trying to pop it open.
Right.
So this one having more of it's more like smooth with the opening. It's not like a latch close kind of system.
Mm-hmm. Now, what I like about the Joy-Cons here, as you can see on the video feed, bigger bumpers on the inside. You see the magnets there. They look really nice. Still, they didn't really show off what that extra button was on the right Joy-Con. There is
That's the C button.
but it's interesting that they didn't show off the actual labeling of it. It's still just a blank square. So I'm wondering if that's something they're going to be showing off in their direct in April.
Probably.
Hopefully. And you can see here the possible tease of the mouse tracking.
Yeah.
Yep.
Uh,
I think that's exactly what that is.
Yep.
but the magnet locks are a pretty nice choice. I feel like a lot more
I still
stable.
don't think it's I don't know, man.
No?
No.
Technology has
with the prong
advanced.
sticking out. I don't know, man. Maybe I'm just clumsy as fuck. But
Well, as long as you don't just like smash it willy nilly into the
yeah, I
the
just
socket. But I think what's going to be nice about the magnets though is that the Joy-Cons are going to be way more secure, but also just based off of I'm going to rewind back a little bit.
Right there, that's the shot. Yeah.
But like see how the Joy-Cons really nicely just line up with the console itself. Like the Switches that we have now, well, I guess unless if you have a Switch Lite, it's different. But the original Switch and the OLED, you have that little dip where the Joy-Con and the screen kind of match up. Yep. And so it creates that little wiggle room with just like the slider. But here with the magnets, it's a nice like form fit. There's not a lot of wiggle room. So hopefully that should kind of alleviate the problems that people have been having.
Ben saying that folks are complaining it looks like the Steam Deck. I saw some stuff about that. I don't know. I just don't see it. I just don't see it.
I think it's just because of the color and also just like scheme. the upscale in size a little bit more. I will say though, compared to what I've seen of the Steam Deck, like this is way thinner than I thought it was going to be. I want to get like a good, like, look at that. Like, that's a lot thinner than I thought the Switch 2 is going to be. I thought it was going to be a chunkier boy. But who knows? Maybe that special, NVIDIA DLSS upscaling chip is going to do them wonders. So they can have more compact space, but then still be able to upscale a lot of games to make them look nicer and prettier.
I'm still hyped over the more ergonomic grip.
Here, B, keep going, guys.
Because my wrist hurt.
I'm really hoping that the increase in size of the Joy-Cons really does do wonders, because god damn it, I cannot hold my Joy-Cons to save my life.
And we talked about this last week, the fact that the inside buttons are a little more raised.
That is true.
You can actually use those buttons. I had to I had to buy the like controller attachment for the Joy-Cons. I had to get multiple of them. Because me and my friends during the pandemic, especially, we were really into Mario Kart. Like that was our game. We would, fuck off from work and play just hours of Mario Kart. And then, post pandemic, we would have people over, we'd have Mario Kart parties. And I couldn't subject my friends to playing with the Joy-Con and trying to push the tiny little buttons.
It's like you hate your friend, you give them the Joy-Con.
Exactly. Yeah, it's no longer that Mario Party ruins friend group. It's whoever gets the Joy-Con. That's how you ruin a friendship.
No
that's
custom grip, just bare Joy-Con.
Yep. It's raw dog in Mario Kart over here.
But yeah, just like looking at this little side profile, like I can already tell, like the shoulder buttons look so much more comfortable.
Yep.
Having them stick out more, but also just the fact that they're super like big comparatively.
And the fact that they're raised kind of makes it feel like it's still, small, but it's that little bit extra to where you don't feel like you're, gonna walk away with carpal tunnel so much.
Right. Oh man. Also, a little splash of color is growing on me.
Yeah, I do enjoy that.
Um, Still hoping that once the direct comes in April, that they confirm that these are Holofax sticks,
Hmm.
so
I mean, I
that
think
they
that's kind of what they're teasing here.
the little wobble wobble there.
Yeah,
Yeah, because I don't think they can go through another generation of having the same shitty sticks on their
yeah,
new console,
no,
especially if this console is getting the third party support that we think it's getting. Like they need to make sure these Joy Cons fucking last.
oh yeah. Which, glad you brought that up because you and I last week we made some predictions and it's still rumors, it sounds like, but kind of got me feeling like I might need to go buy a lotto ticket with how kind of spot on we were with some of them. Uh, you know, talking about, oh, it would be so great if we could, if Nintendo would come back with some older titles to release alongside of this. And it sounds like Star Fox and it might be a thing.
You don't know, you never know. You know
It
they
was Star Fox, and what was the other one that we talked about?
it was well we talked
F-Zero.
F-Zero. F-Zero is still here or there, but like
Yeah,
honestly, like Star Fox, I think is a bigger possibility than it was during the Switch.
yeah,
Like
definitely.
the Switch got no Star Fox
Mm-mm.
anything, like relatively at all. Not even like a remaster of like 64 again or anything like that. I don't know if we read this yet, but Ben said they're going to steal from the Duke controller and put it in a white and black button. Put in a white and black. Oh my god. I never owned the original Xbox, but I remember seeing demo stations of that, and I just remember looking. It's like this controller's so colorful. It has so many different colors on it. But no, this definitely like looks like the upgrade to the Switch. Like this feels like the Switch is reaching its teenage years, where it's like going through its goth phase. You know,
It's hitting puberty.
it has mostly black clothes, but then it will have like a little bit touch of color here or there.
Yeah,
And of course, they secretly kind of showed off the next Mario Kart game.
yeah.
I
I
think
mean,
we,
it's already been it's been unofficially confirmed because nothing at this point, like title wise, is confirmed. This kind of confirms it, I think. If we're seeing game footage, that at least something is in the works for sure.
like this is
Uh,
definitely a new track they haven't seen
yeah,
before. What was it? The thing I kept seeing from people was another tell is that some of the characters. Oh, you can kind of see him in the background. Donkey Kong has a new. See if I can go back just a tiny bit. But Donkey Kong has. Oh, I keep. Oh, there he is. Has kind of like a new look to him. He looks a lot different than he did in the last Mario
yeah,
Kart. Like Mario kind of looks a little rounder in the face. No telling yet, like what the gimmick of this would be. I know some people were touting like possibly like 24 player Mario Kart. I don't know how that would work, how that would be possible, but
As long as they keep snaking out of Mario Kart, it's going to be a great game. No matter what they do with it, it's going to be
yeah.
fantastic.
And of course, here you see the new dock. The rumors were pretty much true. It has like that rounder edge on the top, and you can see a little bit more of the screen. A shame that they didn't show off if there's going to be anything involving the screen when it's in dock mode, because I know some of the rumors were if you have it in dock mode, like notifications would like pop up and like this little bit of the screen here, or like it could be like a timer, like a
Yeah.
clock maybe. That's still to be seen. Of course, we're getting a grip to go along with the Joy-Cons. So this is a pretty good image right here, because this is pretty much showing you like what you're getting. Like even before we know what any of the other games are, like you have the console, you have the dock, you have the grip with the Joy-Cons, and Mario Kart's coming.
Yeah, I'm getting the sense just from this clip that Mario Kart could be a release title.
Yeah, and a little bit of the
Which
cheeky,
I'm not mad about it.
right. It just sucks that we'll have to wait for a while to see anything else. But it is nice that they reiterated that, hey, Nintendo Switch games are going to be backwards compatible to
Thank
a point.
God.
They did do the asterisk saying that some games will not be supported or fully compatible. I'm assume a lot of people pretty much assume that they're talking about the Labo stuff, because that is very uniquely designed for the Switch Joy-Cons, and since the Switch 2s are bigger, it won't fit in any of them, so you kind of can't.
Yeah.
And also with a ring fit, like you can't use the Joy-Con 2s with that, just because there's no slide rail to slide them on anymore, so it's kind of hard to do. But yeah,
Did
very
they
nice.
say-
Go ahead.
Oh, never mind. Go ahead. Finish. It's okay.
Well, no, I was just going to say it's very nice that they reiterated, like, yes, your
Games
Nintendo Switch
you'll
games,
still be able to play your game.
physical
Yeah, I
and
like this
digital,
comparison too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
which was very nice for them to
That's nice.
point out. It's like it's both physical and digital.
Hell
But what were you going to say, Joel?
is Zygarde gonna be a Switch 2 game, or is it a Switch and Switch 2 game? Did they say
That? So they
that
didn't
might be the launch
they
title?
didn't officially announce any games. They showed off like what is like the new Mario Kart, but they didn't really
Yeah.
announce anything yet. I'm assuming we're probably going to see something at the
Direct in April.
like the well, no, because the Pokemon Day direct will be happening in February, which I'm assuming
Oh shoot.
they're going to have a trailer for ZA, and then maybe they'll kind of tease whether or not it's going to be like a Switch game or like a Switch and Switch 2 game. Like
I feel like
that's to be
the
seen.
first new Pokemon game is going to be a Switch and Switch 2.
Probably.
And then I feel like Legends is going to be a Switch 2.
So would you think that? So let me ask you this then: would you see it better to do a remake as a Switch and Switch 2 game, or would they go directly into Gen 10 as a crossover game?
That's
Or
a good question.
Because also, could Game Freak handle that with like two different SKUs?
That's a good point. I don't know. I don't know anymore.
It's interesting territory for once in a long time. I mean, quote unquote long time, because the Wii U was a thing, but nobody cares about that.
We don't talk about the Wii.
But like
Never
this is like Nintendo's new future plans, like the Switch.
Yeah.
Because let's be honest, like, yeah, there's been like quote unquote sequels to Nintendo consoles, but this is the first two
Yeah.
of any Nintendo console. Like, you can argue that like the Super NES was like a 2 of the NES, and like the Wii U was a sequel, but in name alone, this is like the first two
No,
of any Nintendo
I
console.
think this is Nintendo's answer to the Xbox and PlayStation dynasties.
Yeah.
And
It's them showing that this is going to be an ecosystem.
yeah,
Yeah.
which I some of the stuff I was reading the other night. I mean, just and Brian, you kind of touched on it very quickly with the kind of third party access to games. Just the fact that I mean, so far we have Microsoft and Ubisoft confirming that there will be Microsoft and Ubisoft titles available on the Nintendo Store.
Mm-hmm.
What those titles are, I think only Microsoft has confirmed what the titles will be. Ubisoft has not yet.
I think right now the at least the rumor is that
data mine. Yeah, data mining suggests Diablo 4, Fallout 4, Halo Master Chief Collection, and Microsoft Flight Simulator and Starfield.
That's a lot. that is
a lot.
That's from Ubisoft, yeah.
Ubisoft and
Microsoft. Which, those are great titles to have. But the titles aside, it's the fact that it sounds like we could be getting access to some titles from big name developers, which just I think kind of shows that other companies are seeing how potentially big this could be.
Yeah.
And they're willing to throw their name behind it.
Yeah, I think I forget which article is from, but I remember hearing an article talking about how some third-party devs really regret not backing the Switch when it came out. So this time they are damn sure that they are going to be getting whatever they can ready for the Switch 2 when it launches.
Yeah, they're like, we're not going to miss this boat this time.
Which is great because, like, even though they try, like, Nintendo hasn't been a third-party, console.
Yeah,
in a long time.
They've been pretty like, this is our thing, and it's going to stay our thing.
I mean, because that's just how bad the Wii U put a taste in everybody's mouth. Because there was third-party support for the Wii U when it launched, but just it's poor performance and the lack of willingness to give it a chance really soured a bunch of developers' taste in the mouth. Because fuck, I remember Wii U, had Assassin's Creed 3, had Mass Effect 3, had
it did.
Shit. I think it might have had a Call of Duty. I'm not sure. Someone has to fact check me on that. It tried to have third-party support and it failed. Those games did not run good.
Well, that was also just, it was a poorly made console too.
Poorly made and also poorly advertised. Because the biggest issue was that nobody understood that it was a new console. Mm-hmm. They thought it was an attachment for the Wii. Like all the reports coming out of the E3 that year when they revealed the Wii U, everybody was like, so is it a screen for the Wii? It's like, is it a weird controller? It's like, no, it's a new console. It's like, oh.
It's its own thing.
It's like, oh. And
like, but why? Like, why?
But like to the Wii U's credit though, like, sorry we're getting off on like a weird Wii U tangent, but like the Wii U was impressive in other ways because it not only was able to play Wii games, it was also still able to play GameCube games.
Yeah.
So it was
And
a
that this was
Yeah.
I was kind of at a time when the subject of backwards compatibility was still very much a hot button issue because it came out around the same time as like the PS3, right? Am I remembering that correctly?
the Wii
Or
U.
like from
So
PS2 to
Nintendo.
PS3 or PS3 to PS4?
So Nintendo is always weird because they're on like the half step. So
Yeah.
the Wii U came out a few years after like the 3 and the 1.
Right. Yeah.
Or no, the
And
3. Which one? No, the 3 and the 360.
yeah.
Sorry.
And I remember how like how visceral of a reaction people had to the subject of backwards compatibility between PS2 and PS3 and Xbox and Xbox 360. Because it had never really been done before.
Right.
And so while, Sony and Microsoft they kind of fumbled the bag a little bit on that one, fumbled the ball a little bit on that one.
I wouldn't say kinda. I wouldn't say
Yeah, they
kinda.
definitely did. Well, especially when people were saying that the disk drive in the PS3 was just a PS2 disk drive. But
It was some kind of disk drive.
yeah,
I'll tell you what.
but the Wii U, they just kind of like snuck it in there. It's like it's backwards compatible, and it works.
Like, dude, like no joke. It shocked me when I got my Wii U and I opened it up and it literally just had the Wii UI baked into the console. Like
Yep.
you'd select the button on the main menu and it just booted up the Wii U not the Wii U, the Wii software.
Yep.
And like the entire like Wii channel menu just popped up as if it was just a Wii console.
Yep.
Like it was impressive. It's just it sucks that it didn't get the support it needed and not many games came out on it.
Yeah.
You
Well,
want to know what
that's the thing.
did? I have this Reddit that shows. You guys want to hear?
Oh, sure. Fuck it.
I don't know if it's true. It's been downvoted, but this guy lists. He said he went to the Wikipedia. He claims. I'll double check, but some notable ones: Black Ops 2, Assassin's Creed 3, Batman: Arkham City,
Oh
Mass
god.
Effect 3, Ninja Gaiden 3, Tekken Tag Tournament. That doesn't count though.
Yeah.
Avengers: Battle for Earth, Amazing Spider-Man, Injustice. Oh wow.
Jesus.
Let's see. Batman: Arkham Origins, Assassin's Creed 4. And
Wait,
Call of Duty
4 was on the
Ghosts,
Wii U?
according to this guy, but I'll double check their wiki.
How? How?
Hey, like I said, this guy is 0. Let me double check though.
Damn.
But when you think about it too, like they wanted this to be a new console, and maybe this was take this bearing in mind that the console very much underperformed. But they only had in its tenure, they only had 35 Wii U exclusive games. And I think again, it didn't last very long, so that's probably the main reason. But also, I think like what you were saying is like people thought it was the Wii. It was like an extension of the Wii, and so when they heard that I can still play my Wii games, they're like, I'm okay, I'll buy it, but I'm gonna play my Wii game. Like I got these games that I love, and there wasn't enough of a difference between the
Black
Wii and
Flag
the Wii.
was on the Wii U. Sorry, Joe. I just wanted to throw that
No,
out.
you're fine.
That's
I'm looking at the
surprising.
Wikipedia right now.
But you know what the Wii U did have? 2 Star Fox titles. Star Fox Guard and Star Fox Zero. Yeah, I know.
Let's just put it this way. All of the good games got ported over to the Switch. Let's just leave it at that. Let's just
Call
leave
of Duty 2 and Ghosts. Chimp Puzzle Pro. Chronicles of Teddy. Cube Blitz. I'm just throwing shit out there.
Okay.
A Day at the Carnival, your favorite Wii U title, right? All the Dragon Quests known to man. I just saw 5.
Oh,
Epic Mickey, remember that shit? 2, Epic Mickey
I
2.
remember those games. I never played them because I never had a Wii,
dude,
but I remember those games
the
and being like,
remaster
"Dang, those
of
games look cool."
the first one came out late last year.
Yeah, it did.
I need to pick it up.
Grumpy Reaper.
But that's just to be said. Like the Switch 2 is probably in the best possible scenario that any Nintendo console could probably be in. Like it's riding off of the major success of what the Switch was. It is going to have major backing from all sides.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to probably have one of the most easiest adoption rates by the fact that everything is coming with you. You don't have to make a brand new account again.
Yeah.
And, you know, everything else has remained to be seen. Like when April 2nd comes around, we can actually see what the Switch 2 is going to do for us. Then we can kind of readjust our expectations where it is. But as for now, it's like the sky is the limit, honestly.
It's true. And that kind of, takes me into the other thing we talked about, which was, possible like release information, just not even like information specific, but like I've been reading a lot more about how Nintendo is like getting really serious about being launch ready.
Oh
They
yeah.
are overproducing.
What was it, like 20 million units?
Yeah, for day one. They do not want to fall into, because this is like their, like, I would say this is like their true next gen console.
Mm-hmm.
And so they don't want to fall into what happened with the PlayStation. There was a lot of other stuff going on with the PlayStation release too, outside of PlayStation not being prepared. But that's there. I touched on this a little bit. Like there's some stuff going on in the exchange of goods conversations. Right. But I'm still, that being said, I'm still thinking we're going to be looking at like a $399 price tag.
I can see it for being like the upgrade that it's supposed to be. Like 400, I feel like would be the best. Kind of like what we were saying before. If they try to go 450, I feel like that's the maximum.
Or we'll get one of those weird weird prices that only Nintendo can pull off. $429.99. It's gonna be
$429. God damn it.
Or $379 if you turn in your Switch.
Yeah, you get $5 off.
Yeah. All right, Grandpa, it's time to go back to the
time to go back to
the senior home.
Hey, speaking of Grandpa, did you know that the Wii U had Amazon Video, Bandai Channel, Crunchyroll?
What the fuck, the Bandai Channel?
They had YouTube as well.
That was before. That was when Crunchyroll and Funimation were still working together.
Probably.
So, fun fact for anybody that did not own a Wii U, when you were playing like YouTube videos or watching Netflix on your Wii U, you could not turn off the gamepad screen.
No.
That shit stayed on, draining the battery of your fucking.
Oh, it just fucking died.
Well, no, because like it was one of those things where like at that time it made sense. Like, okay, well, because at that point you're able to start like casting stuff start becoming like in the mainstream, and it's like, oh, okay, your phone screen will like turn off and stuff. And you can like watch stuff on your TV. Well, this kind of was the same thing, except you could turn off the controller. So it's just like either watch only a little bit of things, or you plug that fucker in and just have it sit there with the screen on the entire time you're watching a movie. It was bad.
surprised they didn't do a gimmicky thing and like put it on the main thing and on the little screen. Like watch with your friends or some bullshit like that.
Yeah, there were in the first versions of when Apple was getting into casting, like for the first few months when first became a thing, it would play the video on your phone while it's on your TV, and you can't turn it off. If you turn it off, it turns off the video on the TV.
Yeah.
And so it just kind of adds to that battery draining. Because not only is it like the video's playing, but like you can't turn off the screen.
Joe, do you remember that they advertised that you're going to be able to do video chatting with the Wii U, and then how that never happened?
Mm-hmm.
Even though there was a camera on the gamepad.
Possible?
Yep.
On their reveal like trailer video,
they had like two families were video chatting
on their Wii U
Zoom before Zoom.
Yeah,
but the thing is that feature never fucking happened.
It costs too much.
Do you remember when the Nintendo 3DS was supposed to be like a Snapchatty, like take pictures with it, like mini cell phone kind of deal, like a mini camera?
Oh, I remember when it came packed with like an AR game.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And that was the only AR game that was ever
the only AR game that came out for it.
Well, no, that's a lie. There was that weird Pokemon Dreamscape one that was only meant to catch the 3 genies.
Yeah. I know it. I remember it. But that
those
was
are the only two.
That was a movie tie-in. That was a movie tie. That was not anything special. But I do have a very distinct memory of being at the Monterey Bay Aquarium and looking at the penguin tank, and looking to my left, and there's a kid there holding up his Nintendo 3DS, trying to take a picture of because I had the camera on the back too. So, trying to take a photo. And I was like, that kid's gonna grow up to be an iPad grandparent, like taking pictures with the iPad.
Hey, it's like those people that got that that one like camera for the Game Boy.
Oh my god. I forgot about that.
with the printer
that took shitty 8-bit photos in black and white.
Yeah.
It's an art statement now.
It is.
Yeah, but it looked like you drew it on an Etch-a-Sketch.
Hell yeah.
But yeah, the Switch 2 is going to be very interesting to see what it actually is and like what comes with it. I guess, Joel, since you weren't here last week, I kind of want to ask you this question.
Yes, Titanfall 3. Let's go. Switch
what would be the day one game that would make you have to buy the Switch 2? Yeah. Day one.
Fuck.
Oof.
It'd be Zygarde.
Okay.
ZA.
Day
or
one.
It's a fucking, they're not gonna do it, but a fucking new Mega Man. It's gonna be fucking like
You know what?
Mega Man ever.
Brian, I'm changing my answer from last week. I want Mega Man. I want Mega Man 2.
It's gonna be like gonna be like we have Metroid 2 and it's like sleeper release Mega Man. I'm like, oh fuck. Like,
okay, but are we talking Mega Man NT Warrior or like Mega Man and Zero, man,
I ain't a bit. No kidding. it would be like the classic side scroller. But if it was like the NT Warrior, I'd be like, all right, at least we got a heartbeat. Mega Man ain't dead.
You know what's
out
funny?
there somewhere.
It's so funny you bring that up too, because I recently rewatched the first 3 episodes of the Mega Man anime.
Oh,
and it's so bad it's good.
Why would you do that to yourself?
Because I love Mega Man. It's one of my
you should watch the secret level episode, that 5 minutes.
I did. I've seen it.
Oh, it's so good.
I've watched it many times. So good.
But, what'd you guys say last week? I missed it. So what's the day one? Oh, you know what? Actually, Brian, I have one more. I have to put it side by side.
Okay.
F-Zero.
That's what Brian said.
That's what I was saying.
F-Zero.
So I was tossing
That's
around the
just-
idea of F-Zero, which, yes, I was saying like the no way this is ever going to be possible. But I said, what if they brought back Diddy Kong Racing?
Oh, no, that's it's.
I know
Mega
it's
Man is a better chance of coming back.
Joel just immediately no.
Ben in the chest said
Keep
Nintendo. He said Nintendo are too big of cowards to do a new F-Zero.
Yeah.
I had a thought, and then it left me. That's
Pokemon
okay.
Stadium 3.
Oh God. This time they're all here, all 1,000 of them.
1,000. Oh my God, that's what they would call it. Pokemon Stadium 3000. That's what they would fucking call it.
Oh,
That would be.
man.
God.
I feel like we all know a certain someone from our Destiny server who that would be his wet dream.
I'm
What-
sure he's praying every day. I know he is. I know he is.
Well, you know,
What about you, Jovi? What's your day one? What is it Mega Man for real, or did you have another one?
No, I had another one. If I'm remembering correctly, I said like a Kirby title. I just love the Kirby games so much. They're so much fun.
they're nice.
I was when because Nintendo's been like giving those like emulator bundles.
Yeah.
And when I saw Kirby and the Crystal Shards from the N64 was on it, I was like immediately downloading. I don't care about any of these other titles in this bundle. I'm gonna play that game again. That game I think is one of the best Kirby because that was the first Kirby game where you could combine powers
Oh yeah.
into better ones.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the whole that was the only difference between that one and then I think like Kirby's Dream Land for the Game Boy, like those kind of came out around the same time. Like that was the only difference. And it had it wasn't just a classic side scroller too. It had missions where the map would like rotate around with you. So it was the first like 3D Kirby game.
Yep.
Love
The
that
good
game
old
so
days.
much. The good old days. Back when our expectations were so low. it didn't take much to impress us.
But you know what, Joel? Being the person that bought the Switch day one because I saw that they finally made a new Bomberman game, and so I went and got it. You know, I bring that karma onto you. Maybe you can get a Mega Man game.
Ryan, it's gonna be Pokemon. We know we
It's
both
gonna be
know
Pokemon.
it's not Mega Man.
It's gonna be Pokemon.
It's gonna be Pokemon.
It's gonna be Pokemon and Mario Kart.
Yeah. It's like Mega Man's in the grave, but F-Zero's in hell. Let's be real.
Hey, you never know.
Yeah, straight from out of hell. F-Zero bringing Mega Man with them.
This week, Microsoft is supposed to be having a developer direct, and they said that a well-known Japanese franchise is going to announce an unannounced game. So you never know. It could be Mega Man's time to shine, baby.
It's gonna be like Ninja Gaiden
Next
5 or
gen.
something, I'm calling it.
We're going to be having a lot more fun talking about the Switch 2 in the weeks to come. But for now, I believe that will about do it, unless if you guys have anything else you want to add before we kind of wrap it up here.
No, I think we covered a
Remember if
lot.
there's something else. Yeah, we did cover a lot.
All right.
Oh, there
Oh.
the patent news.
Oh, yes. Almost forgot about that.
Yeah.
Please go ahead.
apparently Nintendo submitted a more complete patent of the one that they submitted back in 2023 for a it's an upgrade. From what I understand, it's like an upgraded sensor bar, Wii sensor bar. And what the implications of that are, nobody really knows, right? Um, but the some design schematics were made public for how it would function. Um, and I
Right.
mean I think what it could mean. We'll find out in April.
So I've been doing some theorizing since you showed us this information the other day.
Yeah.
Like this whole generation with the Switch, like Nintendo has been doing their damnedest to bring back old classic titles, whether it be the the Nintendo Switch online services with the Game Boys and the classic consoles, the N64s, Sega Genesis and stuff like that. And of course, porting over all of the Wii U games that they would want. I was thinking, what if with the new technology they have for the Switch 2, like the upscaling and the kind of the what would you call it? The compressing of the data files to kind of like make everything take up less space and all that kind of stuff. What if that new camera is made for them to just seamlessly port over Wii games
I mean, I think that's kind of what
for like a
they're.
Wii like online console?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's what they're gonna like say it's initially for. Um, and we kind of talked about it a little bit after I sent the information over, and I linked some screenshots of the actual article that mentioned it. The actual like again the implications of like where they could go with the technology of it. Um, you know, like we said, like AR and IR in 2025 is a bit of a weird choice.
Yeah.
Um, but again, I think you got to kind of remember who the Switch is really marketed towards. And if we're gonna bring back some of those Wii games, there was like Wii Party, there was like those dancing games, um,
I mean,
that
Skyward Sword, like
Skyward Sword.
the Wii version of Twilight Princess, which hasn't
Yeah,
gotten a remaster yet.
yeah. I mean, there's a lot of cool game, and I think how they incorporate that into future titles as well. I mean, yeah, the it's what you said, Brian. Like, it really does seem like at this current stage with what we know, it does really kind of seem like the sky is the limit with what they could potentially do.
Yeah. Or shit, for all we know, it could be a whole brand new thing that we can't even
Yeah,
comprehend yet. I feel like Nintendo always has to throw in a curveball for every generation they do.
it's kind of what they've become known for. I feel like.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Yeah, it'd be exciting to see
Yeah.
if because like I know like a lot of conversations like, well, patents don't always mean that'll happen. It's like, but I think what you're saying is the fact that they re-upped it and like added on to it and like modified it
So
compared to
it's
how it
not
was
a it's,
before.
it's not a re-up. It's a complete version
Oh,
of a previous patent that they filed. So they incorporated a
oh,
previous patent, which that also got linked in when we were talking about it. So there's the two previous patents. One was in 2022 and one was in 2023. And then this new one takes those two and new stuff that they're patenting this year and combining all three,
Okay.
which I think so it's a more complete picture of where you can kind of speculate Nintendo is thinking of going. And what you're saying, like just because they're patenting it doesn't necessarily mean they're going to do anything, but it makes that technology proprietary for at least 10 years.
True.
So that gives Nintendo 10 years to do something, and once they own the bits of those patents, they can take this one that they just submitted and add it to another patent that they submit next year or in 5 years. And then that bit that they submitted already stays with Nintendo.
Yeah. I just got the funny thought. I was like, what if Nintendo's like, you know what? Xbox, you tried twice to make the Kinect work. God damn it. We're going to do it our way.
The PlayStation
no.
Eye. Do you remember the PlayStation Eye?
Oh, God. I
That didn't
do.
work. It would be like, put your hand here to like, you have to, was it like configure the camera and everything?
Mm-hmm.
Put your hand here in this circle. It's in the circle and it's not doing what it's supposed to do.
Oh,
Yeah. I
no.
mean, I think AR could potentially see a bit of a comeback, maybe.
I mean, they kind of were testing a little bit of AR stuff with that Mario Kart toy
Yeah,
that they came out
that
with.
was pretty fun too.
Oh, did you try it?
A friend of mine has it.
Oh,
I
okay.
don't know if he still does, but it was a cool little thing. It was very niche,
Mm-hmm.
which, as you were saying, like it's a total curveball. I don't think anybody kind of really saw that one coming. It didn't put up numbers, but
No.
for what it was worth, it was a cool thing for 5 minutes that nobody had really seen before.
Yeah. So I don't know. It'd be interesting. It'd be interesting to see what Nintendo's got cooking. Alrighty. Well, I think with that being it, um, if anybody else has anything they want to, throw up real quick before we wrap it up.
Yes.
Oh, ew.
Just MCP wise, what you call it, Man Thing and Elsa Bloodstone are coming out, so I'm excited. More alien and mutant freaks for me. They just Yondu and Nova should be coming later this year too. I think they just announced, so that'll be fun. That's a good combo. And then I dropped it in our MCP chat, but this guy called Gladiator, essentially the mutant Superman, or not mutant. He just fucks with the X-Men a lot. He's going to be supposed to be coming soon, and he's looking beefy. So
Nice.
that'll be interesting. There was a Squid Games crossover for Call of Duty. I did solely red light, green light to unlock most of the season pass free stuff. And boy, let me tell you a funny experience I had. People be fucking evil in red light, green light. They'll knife you, man. I was near the
Oh.
N3 and I just got fucking knifed, and I was like, fuck you. But what's funny is I have two controllers, right? I have a Razer that you hook in directly.
Mm-hmm.
That's been like my go-to controller for a very long time. Very good controller. When I was playing red light, green light, though, I wouldn't be moving and it would detect movement still. So I think it has drift. Sad face.
Oh.
So that's what someone was saying. Is like, you probably have drift. I posted on TikTok. And then what's funny is the Hori controller I have, right? Or the Nori, whatever it's called, that does
Or
not have drift. So I was
hey.
playing red light, green light without being able to turn, and I won a couple. So that was pretty funny. My
Hey.
fight controller got me victories more than my fucking one that could turn around and see. So
The only way
yeah.
ahead is straight, and that's towards victory.
Yeah. And I knifed someone too. I got someone. They came back to me to knife me, and I got them. I'll put it on our TikTok eventually. But yeah, I thought as far as crossovers go, that was pretty cool. And then of course I watched
Nice.
the show. So yeah,
Oh yeah.
red light, green light.
Okay, I think that will about do it for this episode of the United We Nerd podcast. We thank you all for hanging out with us and with us, theorizing what Nintendo's going to do next. Let us know if you're on YouTube. Let us know in the comments what you think will be coming to the Switch's launch lineup. And of course, again, if you can, please help the people of LA. They are going through a lot.
Yeah.
Any little bit counts. Social currency is also can go a long way as well. And for us, we will be back here next week. So until then, everybody, remember to forever and always keep on nerding.
Yeah. Woo. Unplug.
Oh, the gunpla.